Disaster averted.
Previously on Spawn Adventures, we completed our Alaskan IPA endurance ride and discovered a few things in this area that make it a worthy destination.
Back in Victoria, our little city by the sea is no small town. Somehow it finds ways to grow larger and more spectacular every year. Here, we can find almost anything we need, from camping equipment to electronics and groceries.
But more importantly, motorcycles.
And any parts you may need when you're planning for a trip.
Or other things you may need along the way. In many small towns, things aren't always so available.
In Stewart BC, we started shopping around for a few things we needed.
Now this is a small town. The stores are pretty basic and the selection can be limited.
We found that while you might be able to find some things you're looking for, not everything you may need is for sale, even something as basic as a liter of oil. Motorcycle oil is different than regular car oil. The oil that lubricates the engine is the same oil used for the transmission and the clutch. It's all shared, so finding specifically motorcycle oil was really important. After searching the stores, we discovered there was none available.
We started to ask around to see if there was any other local riders that might have a liter.
We met a guy at a local repair shop who said he might have some in a back shed. Followed him back to his place, where he had found a liter of motorcycle oil. No charge, just a handshake.
Luckily, people are awesome, and unlike many places around the world, these small communities support each other.
The kindness that we received from this man is appreciated for more than just a liter of oil, but also acts as a lesson to those discovering what being a Canadian is all about.
Disaster averted.
Ready to go.
We're on a mission. Our next goal was to ride all the way to the top of the province.
We only have to eat up about 400 kilometers to get there. We're then going to head back down along the east side of BC and start making our way towards home.
It's time to saddle up and get riding. Yukon territory, here we come.
This is called the Bear Glacier. We couldn't just drive on by this time.
It's a pretty windy spot to hang out at. I don't know why it's always so fun to throw rocks down these hills.
We hit a well-known junction, and from here, we headed north to the Alaska Highway, hundreds of kilometers away from home, and adding days to the trip.
I like the sound of that already.
It didn't take long until we ran into bears. This young one, and then another. They were more scared of us, although we weren't exactly about to get off the bike.
We took a break a little later. We felt more comfortable in open rest areas.
On our way up north again. It's a nice road, isn't it? Aaron's the cameraman at the moment, and I am a hungry guy. It's because it changed, because it used to be all Northwest Territories and the Yukon. But then it changed into part of Nunavut. And isn't Nunavut? That's the other one, right?
You will like if you think my dad is stupid as all hell because he doesn't know anything about geography.
The geography of Canada. We were pretty surprised to see a group of horses just roaming down the highway, in the middle of nowhere. They obviously belonged to somebody.
We came across this place and thought it might be a good time to go grab some lunch, and ran into a small problem.
The problem is that the guy has a debit machine that's not working, or works only sometimes. And for him to bring an order through for us, he's busy cooking right now, and when he's done cooking, he can go and call the company and have them reboot his computer, his debit machine. But until then, we're just stuck waiting to see if it maybe or might work, and we don't have any cash with us. So, well, it's a funny little restaurant. It's a nice older guy running it, but he needs help, apparently. Bit of a bummer. It smells great in here. Yeah. We were packing everything we needed for staying outside of a town for almost a week if we needed to. We look out for places to camp and would only stay if we felt like stopping for the day.
On this day, we were eager to set up camp for the first time this trip. So earlier in the day, we found a nice spot by the river and made it home for the night.
We were using a couple new pieces of equipment, and we're pretty happy with how easy the tent was to set up. Yeah, it's pretty big, but not too heavy, and with the trailer, you can pack something like this. A bigger shelter makes it easy to manage camp and riding equipment, and to hang out in if the weather turns bad. Jeez. We discovered that the water filter we bought was also a nice design. Filters and stores the water. Really handy to have around.
Our biggest problem at camp was to decide who was going to take care of the dishes. You'd figure that a shooting competition would solve that one easy.
And all the insides 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
No worries, they're just air guns. Ready? 5 shots, Aaron.
Safety off.
Guess who won that one? Oh yeah.
Guess who lost the challenge?
Next morning, we were pretty excited to get back on the road. Only a couple hundred Ks till we reached the Yukon border.
might be highways, but at times there's no one there, just us. Pretty easy to just pull over and take a few photos. Oh, it's a video clip. Hey, steamroller! Steamroller, get on! Come on! If you notice, the forest doesn't look too healthy in this area. That's because this is what a huge forest looks like when it's been devastated by the mountain pine beetle. For those that don't know, in the late 1990s, abnormally warm temperatures allowed the beetles to survive through what are typically cold winters. An outbreak followed for over a decade, destroying about half the commercial lodgepole pine throughout the province. This had a significant impact on BC.
Goal number 3. Reach the top of the province? Check.
Hey, you're live from Yukon territory.
Hey.
Next time on Spawn Adventures, we briefly explore the Yukon and dive back down into BC. The essence of a good adventure is being able to accept the unforeseen events that unfold. Our journey transforms, and we conclude our adventure separate from the bike.